The Galactic Empire stretched its dominance across the vast expanse of the stars, subjugating planets and entire solar systems to its will. Towering, imposing ships patrolled the galaxy with an aura of menace, ensuring no one dared challenge their supremacy, for opposition meant certain annihilation. For centuries, the Empire thrived on unmatched technological prowess, basking in its untouchable status. The thought of an uprising, especially from the inhabitants of a backward planet like Earth, was laughable. Earth's outdated technology and feeble advancements were nothing but a mild inconvenience to the Empire, akin to the buzz of an insignificant insect. A superficial evaluation of Earth had labeled it an unworthy contender, with antiquated spacecraft and laughable weaponry that lagged behind the galactic standard by centuries. To the Empire, Earth was irrelevant and afterthought in their grand cosmic vision. However, arrogance and complacency had blinded the Empire to a quiet revolution brewing in the shadows. Away from prying eyes, Earth's scientists, engineers, and strategists toiled relentlessly, crafting advanced weaponry, innovative technologies, and revolutionary spacecraft far beyond anything the Empire could imagine. The culmination of these efforts was the Vanguard, a sleek, agile, and technologically superior vessel equipped with cutting-edge plasma drives, quantum energy systems, and devastating weaponry capable of tearing through space itself. Humanity, aware of the Empire's disdain, chose to keep their advancements hidden, deploying the Vanguard covertly to test its mettle. The plan was straightforward. The Vanguard would infiltrate Imperial territory disguised as a standard scouting vessel, luring the Empire into a false sense of superiority. The bait worked. The Empire dispatched a modest patrol fleet, confident that 3 warships would suffice to eliminate the nuisance. To the Empire, crushing this insignificant ship was a routine exercise. But aboard the Vanguard, the crew knew the truth. They carried the hopes of humanity, and this was no ordinary mission. When the Imperial fleet arrived, their arrogance was palpable, towering warships radiating menace. The Imperial commander's transmission was dripping with disdain: surrender, or be annihilated. Without hesitation, the Vanguard roared to life, its precision-engineered engines propelling it forward with unmatched grace. The Empire's plasma cannons lit up the void, but the Vanguard moved like a ghost, evading every attack. Then, the Vanguard struck a single, precise blast, obliterated the lead Imperial cruiser in an instant. Shock rippled through the Imperial fleet. This was impossible. Earth was never meant to be a threat. Panic set in as the Vanguard unleashed its full might, methodically dismantling the fleet. The second Imperial ship exploded in a fiery display, and the third attempted to flee, only to surrender when escape proved futile. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Empire had been defeated by a single ship from a species they had long dismissed as irrelevant. The Vanguard didn't linger. It vanished into hyperspace, leaving behind the shattered remains of an Imperial fleet and an unmistakable message: humanity would no longer be overlooked. The Empire, reeling from its loss, would undoubtedly retaliate. But on that day, Earth had proven it was no longer a mere curiosity. It was a force to be reckoned with. The war wasn't over, but the balance of power had shifted, and the galaxy would never see humanity the same way again. The battle was not yet over. Humanity knew the Empire needed to fully grasp the magnitude of the challenge it now faced, and for that, one final strike was necessary. Before retreating, the crew of the Vanguard prepared for their next move with calm precision, following a meticulously pre-planned strategy. Meanwhile, aboard the remaining Imperial ship, chaos reigned. The Imperial commander barked frantic orders in a desperate attempt to regain control, but deep down, he knew the truth: humanity had surpassed the Empire in every conceivable way. The Vanguard executed its final maneuver flawlessly. Instead of outright destroying the Imperial cruiser, it strategically disabled its engines and weapons, leaving it adrift and powerless. This act sent a clear message: Earth wasn't about mindless destruction, it was about calculated dominance. The Empire, accustomed to crushing its foes through sheer force, now found itself humiliated by a smaller, seemingly primitive human vessel that dismantled their fleet with ease. The logic-defying defeat left the Empire shaken. The disabled Imperial ship drifted in silence, its crew overwhelmed by humiliation and helplessness. For the Vanguard's crew, this was more than a tactical victory, it was a symbolic triumph. The Empire's illusion of invincibility had been shattered. Word of this defeat would spread rapidly across the galaxy, inspiring hope in other oppressed species that resistance was not only possible but achievable. Having delivered its message, the Vanguard initiated its retreat, its engines flaring to life as it disappeared into the void of space. The remnants of the Imperial fleet were left behind as a testament to the battle's outcome. On board the remaining Imperial vessel, damage assessments confirmed a bitter truth: Earth, once mocked and dismissed, had achieved what was thought impossible. The Empire would regroup, strategize, and retaliate, but one thing was certain: they could no longer afford to underestimate humanity. Aboard the Vanguard, the crew remained focused. Though their victory was monumental, they understood it was only the beginning. The Empire would retaliate with all its might, but humanity was prepared. Decades of effort had led to this moment, and the Vanguard's success signaled a turning point not just for Earth, but for the galaxy. As the ship sped through the stars, the crew reflected silently on their achievement. They had challenged the Galactic Empire and prevailed not for glory, but for humanity's survival. The Empire's reign of unchecked terror had met its first true resistance. Across the galaxy, shockwaves rippled from the Imperial defeat. Initially dismissed as exaggeration, the truth of Earth's triumph became undeniable as more details emerged. The Empire's leadership was thrown into turmoil. The Emperor, furious and demanding answers, struggled to comprehend how his prized warships, symbols of imperial dominance, had been dismantled by a species once deemed irrelevant. Advisors scrambled for explanations but found none. The Vanguard's technology was unlike anything the Empire had encountered. Within the Empire, factions emerged. Some called for swift, overwhelming retaliation to crush Earth, while others urged caution, fearing that further conflict might reveal even greater vulnerabilities. For the first time in generations, fear took hold within the Empire's leadership. Earth, once a mere curiosity, was now a force to be reckoned with. On Earth, cautious hope began to take root. The Vanguard's success had united humanity in ways few had imagined. Divisions between nations dissolved as the realization dawned they weren't just fighting for recognition, but for survival. Behind closed doors, Earth's leaders and scientists worked tirelessly, developing faster ships, more advanced weapons, and impenetrable defenses to prepare for the inevitable escalation. The galaxy watched, holding its breath. The Empire, still reeling from the unexpected defeat, had yet to make its next move. Rumors swirled of retaliation, while whispers of rebellion began to spread. The balance of power had shifted, and the galaxy would never be the same. The Empire's retaliation came swifter than anyone on Earth had anticipated. Within weeks, a colossal Imperial fleet was sighted advancing through hyperspace, its size dwarfing the force that had faced the Vanguard. Earth's intelligence networks, now more sophisticated and bolstered by new allies, reported that this fleet carried not just soldiers and weaponry, but entire armies of enslaved alien species forced to fight for their imperial overlords. It was clear the Empire intended to crush Earth entirely, not just as retribution, but as a warning to the rest of the galaxy. Back on Earth, preparations had reached fever pitch. Scientists worked day and night, finalizing breakthroughs that had been theorized but not yet tested. Earth's colonies on the Moon and Mars were repurposed into defense outposts, while fleets of upgraded ships, based on the Vanguard's revolutionary designs, were mobilized. What the Empire didn't know was that Earth had also been in contact with rebel factions across the galaxy, species who had suffered for centuries under the Empire's iron rule. These scattered factions, emboldened by the Vanguard's victory, had begun secretly supplying Earth with intelligence, resources, and, most importantly, hope. The day the Imperial fleet arrived in Earth's solar system, humanity stood ready. Across the planet, defense systems powered up, and the new fleet dubbed the Genesis Armada assembled in orbit. The Vanguard, repaired and rearmed, led the charge. But humanity's strategy wasn't just about meeting the Empire head-on, it was about using the element of surprise, just as they had before. The Imperial fleet emerged from hyperspace with devastating force. Thousands of warships, shimmering with plasma shields, spread out in perfect formation, their overwhelming power intended to intimidate. Earth's fleet, smaller but infinitely more nimble, held its ground. The Empire's arrogance remained their greatest weakness. They expected an easy fight. What they got was a storm. Earth unleashed its latest invention, the Celestial Veil. A network of orbital satellites emitted a quantum disruption field, temporarily scrambling the Empire's advanced targeting systems. Suddenly, the Empire's precision strikes were reduced to wild, inaccurate barrages. In the chaos, Earth's ships moved with surgical precision, striking weak points in the massive Imperial vessels. The Vanguard, with its unmatched speed and firepower, darted through the chaos like a phantom, taking down larger ships one by one. On the ground, Earth's planetary defenses roared to life. Massive plasma cannons, hidden deep within mountain ranges, fired devastating bursts at the Imperial fleet, while drones equipped with stealth technology flanked the enemy from unexpected angles. Meanwhile, a coordinated counterattack began on the Empire's enslaved armies. Earth's diplomats had been secretly broadcasting messages of liberation, promising freedom and sanctuary to those who chose to defect. As the battle raged, entire squadrons of alien soldiers turned against their Imperial masters, adding to the chaos. In the heart of the Imperial fleet, the Emperor himself watched the battle from his command vessel, the Eternal Dominion. Unlike his subordinates, he was no fool. He realized that this was no mere rebellion, this was a revolution. Earth was not fighting alone, and its technology had surpassed anything the Empire had faced in millennia. For the first time in his long reign, the Emperor felt the sting of doubt. He ordered his ship to prepare for retreat, but his officers hesitated. The Emperor's retreat would mark the first time in history an Imperial leader had fled a battlefield. As the Genesis Armada pressed its advantage, the Vanguard led a daring charge toward the Eternal Dominion. The plan wasn't to destroy the Emperor's flagship, it was to capture it. Humanity understood that defeating the Empire wasn't just about winning battles, it was about dismantling the myth of its invincibility. The Vanguard's captain, a seasoned strategist known only as Captain Juno, devised a bold maneuver to disable the flagship's engines. With precision strikes and unmatched agility, the Vanguard slipped past the Emperor's defenses, crippling the ship. Inside the Eternal Dominion, panic spread. The Emperor, now furious and desperate, ordered a last-ditch counterattack. But it was too late. Earth's forces had surrounded the flagship, and a transmission was sent directly to the Emperor: surrender or face annihilation. For the first time in centuries, the Emperor hesitated. His empire was crumbling, and his enemies, once seen as insignificant, now stood as giants. The battle ended not with destruction but with a surrender. The Emperor, though humiliated, agreed to a ceasefire, knowing that prolonging the war could lead to the complete collapse of his empire. The Eternal Dominion was taken as a prize, its crew captured and its secrets exposed. Across the galaxy, news of the Empire's defeat spread like wildfire. On countless worlds, rebellions erupted as oppressed species realized that freedom was no longer a distant dream. But Earth's leaders and the Vanguard's crew knew this was only the beginning. The Empire, though weakened, still held vast resources and loyal forces. The war for the galaxy was far from over. Yet, humanity had proven that even the mightiest empire could be brought to its knees. As the Vanguard returned to Earth, its crew gazed out at the stars, knowing that the future of the galaxy would be shaped not by fear but by hope. Humanity was no longer a spectator in the galactic arena. They were leaders, pioneers, and warriors. And their journey had only just begun.